Joining me now live in our Lagos studio to discuss this trend and much more, I have Joseph Agumbiade, the co-founder of Budget. Good to have you on the breakfast show this morning.
Thank you.
Let's talk about the estimate of 90.7 million naira being lost on an hourly basis as we have the shutdown of Twitter, the suspension, and how this also affects players within the spectrum of digital space. You have influencers within that space. You have engagements that are carried out there. You have work being done there, and all of this is suspended. How much of an economic impact does this have if we have to translate this number to real economic terms?
So I want to assume about 2 billion naira being lost daily. It's largely around the things that we can actually measure, we can see right now. The daily hustle, the customer service, and all of those things that we can see. How about the things that we're not even seeing, which is investors, the people who get jobs on the platform, international jobs? Because one of the ways our economy is picking up right now is because of people are using Twitter, even more than just what we know.
And working remotely as well.
Yes, because you just get on Twitter and someone say, oh, I love your profile. I mean, you post your job and someone say, oh, because of that, they want to hire you. Internationally, it's bridged that, the border that we used to have is taking that off completely. And so I even think it's more than 2 billion naira estimation monthly. That we're losing daily, and so people are really angry because it's, for some people, it's just a channel. It's an additional channel for their business. You know what the channel is? And a digital channel exposes you to a global market. If you have a brick and mortar shop or you do stuff from your bedroom, and Twitter is the place where you get your customer. If once Twitter is shut down, you're out of business completely. And that is what has happened. It's like government just took food out of people's mouths. So the impact is way more than just 2 billion. It's actually deeper. For every single person who has gained some sort of economic freedom, over 5 people have been delivered, economically. So the impact is actually very deep.
And still understanding the stance of government, it says that we have to do all as much as possible to ensure that the sanctity and the sanity of the economy is kept. But despite the suspension, Nigerians always find a way around things.
Definitely.
Now, this has erupted with the VPN coming to save the day, literally. Now, we've had free downloads, but how much of data security concerns is this for you? Because you have logins, people forget to switch on or switch off, and then you have logins of your banking details and other subscriptions that you have on your mobile phone or your laptop or any device connected to the internet. How much of a menace do you think this would be if those within the dark web have access to these people who subscribe to the free downloads of VPNs?
Yeah, so a lot of Nigerians are poor. So even though they are premium VPNs, a lot of people are naturally going to go for the free ones. And of course, nothing is free. So the guys that are providing the services are definitely taking your data in return. If you are using the Wi-Fi of an office or your business area or something, you're going to be affecting, once you're on VPN, it's going to be impacting every other person, meaning that it's going to impact business overall. Then data, stealing of data, people's data. When I say data, I don't mean just the data of internet.
Yes.
Your actual information on VPN, that's what happens. You're basically giving such an access.
Oh, your logins.
Yeah, and the risk is that it's going to affect the country. And we get hacked like literally every day. And so creating an avenue for people to start using VPN, because that's what has happened. It is not the will of the people to naturally say, I want to use VPN. It is because they are being blocked from what gives them their daily living.
But the consciousness of the average Nigerian who is going for this free download is not really thinking about the long-term consequences.
Yeah, because these guys, they want to eat. Survival first, about Maslow's human hierarchy of needs. You have to survive first. It is later on, they will now realize how much they have lost. They are losing more than actually what they think they are gaining. But the truth of the matter is that man must work first, and that comes first. So we must always create the platform for the citizens to live their best life. When you do such a thing, think about all the consequences that comes with it. These are unintended consequences, and it's happening already.
We've had a swing of reactions as well from the federal government and also Nigerians, the international space. It's been a whole lot of reactions we've had so far. But right now, there are certain reports that the federal government is also speaking with China, looking at firewall and all of those. And how does this also come to you? Yes, the focus is on the move to ensure that we have Twitter back, but these rumors, how do we silence this noise that there is a tendency, or there are reports that we would have the internet literally controlled?
Yeah, I mean, so we have to understand why China is doing what it's doing. Philosophically, we don't fall in the same bandwidth with China at all. They are developing themselves internally. We are not developing ourselves internally. What investment are we making in technology and all of that for us to even think of banning something that has become a source of livelihood to the citizens? So if you go the way of China, we're literally outsourcing our sovereignty to another country. Do you think China will give us firewall and they won't have access to all our data? You know, so it is shallow at best to even think that we'll be thinking in that direction, that we would want to consider firewall from China. You know, it's worse than using Twitter. As a matter of fact, what happens on Twitter? Twitter has given us voice. It has given people livelihood. It has become, for some businesses, is their de facto customer service platform. If you call their number, they will never attend to you. But if you go on Twitter, so when you talk about consumer protection and all of that, Twitter has given it to us.
How much of a level of vulnerability do you think this sort of move, if it's been done, will heighten?
It's literally selling our country. We sold our country because now everything is digital. This is June 2021. The world has gone way past, you know, this is a 1970-something move to think of bringing firewall to block. We're going to lose a lot more than Twitter, because immediately you do that, investors, a few days ago, I saw a guy in the US talking about the fact that he just left Nigeria, that is the best place to come to, talking about how Nigerians are using technology in a white audience, and everybody was clapping for him. You know, I've never seen anybody so Nigeria like that before. But, you know, in just a few days, we now banned Twitter. If those guys are considering to come to Nigeria to invest, they're going to turn back, definitely, because nobody would like to invest in a country where suddenly a policy can just change everything for them overnight. And guess what? Nigerians, we are going global. You know, we're going global. I mean, at budget, we've expanded to Sierra Leone, to Liberia. We're in Ghana today. And you can't tell me that I can't continue my global activity because I live in Nigeria. There are people who have global businesses and they reside in Nigeria. You can't tell them they can't do their business. So the risk is too much for us as a country, because then you are literally telling me that I should get out of Nigeria. You can't tell me to get out of my country, you know. So I mean, it's a little annoying, you know.
National security is one of the most important conversations we have to have at this point in time. And then, as much as possible, it's a thin line talking about the interface between the government and the people. But right now, what do you think is the forecast that you see in terms of a reversal of the suspension? The government has come out to say responsible usage of the social media is what's going to assure Nigerians a reopening to have the opportunity for civil engagement for their businesses and a whole lot more. But if it has the stake on hand and says you continue to misbehave, we'll wield the big stick, do you think we'll see a reversal anytime soon?
Yeah, I mean, I've told people around me and at home that next week it's going to be reversed. Okay. You know, I don't have any doubts, because they are missing it too. Governor Rufai, we saw him tweeting using VPN. Okay. You know, so they are using it. Everybody is missing Twitter. Okay. So I'm very sure by next week we're going to see Twitter back.
Thank you very much for your time on the Breakfast Show this morning, Joseph Ogunbiade. It's been a pleasure speaking with you, and hopefully we keep our fingers crossed for all the best news as we look forward to what government is going to do next, and also responsible usage of social media. That's critical.